Hello and welcome to Gameaholicspodcast episode 3. I'm your host, as always, Kickler, joined here by my co-host, Archer. Archer, say hello to everybody.
What is up, guys?
This week we are recording a little early, so we are going to cover these two news topics, and then we'll throw it over to future Kickler to finish out the news that we have missed earlier in the week. So the first thing here that we want to talk about is this new Switch dock that's coming out by Genki. It's on the Kickstarter program. It killed its goal. The goal was $50,000 as it's standing right now. It is at $709,000 with 10,951 backers. So Genki makes this dock that you can plug into your controller or into your Switch that allows you to hook up Bluetooth wireless headphones to it. So this company has a good track record, but the problem with third-party docks is they have been known to brick your consoles. So it's kind of problematic with this new travel dock. It's real small, and we're just going to have to wait and see how it stands up once it actually comes out. What do you think about it?
I'm hoping that it does do good because that dock is so big.
Yeah, it's hard to travel with.
Yeah.
And there was that thing where it was scratching people's screens for a while. So that plastic is kind of hard sliding it in. This one's literally just a plug that goes into the wall. And then you take a USB-C, you plug it into the Switch, and you take an HDMI and plug it into the TV, and that's it. And it doubles as just a normal charger. So you can travel, in theory, with just this and two cords, and you're fine.
Yeah, I think they just really got to hit you don't have the right charger for your Switch, it can burn your battery or whatever.
Yeah, so as long as they can figure out the power consumption, I think it'll be fine, but just be cautious of it. If you guys have backed it at all, or if you're thinking about it, do be aware that third-party docks have been docking Switches, and if you were to get this and your Switch does get bricked, Nintendo will not replace this one for you. Anyway, moving on to the next news topic that has come out. You've played the Switch, right?
Yep.
You like the Switch?
Love the Switch.
Not a big Xbox fan, but maybe I'll get there. What if there was a Switch-style Xbox? What do you think about that?
I'd fuck with that because I love taking games on the go.
So Microsoft is making Project xCloud. xCloud is going to be their cloud streaming game service where basically on any device you'd be able to pull it up and be able to play these AAA games and whatever. They just filed a patent for Joy-Con style Xbox controller. So they'll be able to come apart and attach to a handset themselves, and also it looks like that they'll be able to clip onto the sides of your phone that you can just play the games on the go.
I really like the design of them.
Yeah.
I feel like they're super hand-friendly and they feel real comfortable.
Yeah, so there's drawings out there of the patent, and then some artists went through and kind of did a rendering of what they think that it may look like, and I think they look super cool. The one thing that has me concerned is my phone battery sucks as it is. Mm-hmm. So what's that? Like, I'm not going to be able to play for very long. Where like the Switch, it has its own dedicated battery, it's its own dedicated system.
And that one you can plug in while you play, but you can't really plug in your phone when you play because you clip right on the side. Yeah,
if these controllers clip onto the side, that's going to cover my port. So I don't know how much gameplay I'd be able to get out of it. On the Switch, you can get like 3 hours on some of those bigger games. I don't think I'd be able to get that even.
I play a AAA game on my phone, and it doesn't do too bad battery drainage, but it is still very quick. So I'm guessing the ones you hook up to a controller are going to be even better. Yeah. Their target market is probably like Note 10.
Yeah, that's true. But we'll just have to wait and see. I mean, my phone's not even 2 years old yet, and the battery isn't great. So
yeah, I can tell mine's dwindling too.
Anyway, for the rest of the news, we're going to throw it over to Future Kickler. Future Kickler, what's in the news?
Alright, yes, it looks like a few new things came out later this week. In October, there's a bunch of new Joy-Con colors coming out. And Best Buy just announced that they're going to have an exclusive color in neon green pair. So it'll be both a left and right neon green. And I believe it's the same neon green color as the Splatoon pack. So I don't think it's a new color in this situation. There was also a leak that came out that next year's Call of Duty, the one coming out in 2020, will be Call of Duty Black Ops. And it looks like they're going to drop the numbering and reboot the franchise, which is exactly what I predicted in the last episode. The other thing that came out, the Minecraft 4K texture pack update has officially been canceled. They could not get it to work on all platforms, so they decided to can it all together. Doom Eternal announced their multiplayer. It looks similar to Evolve's multiplayer, where one person plays as the bad guy, in this case the Doom guy, and two players will play as demons and trying to fight off the Doom guy. There is a new Sky Oblivion trailer that came out saying that they are getting closer to release. It looks good, still a little rough around the edges, and it is a fan-made project, so we'll probably see some of that in the final version, but it's exciting to see this project moving along. And the last thing that came out, if you purchased a Nintendo Switch after July 17th, 2019, looks like you can call up Nintendo and let them know that you did, and they will upgrade you to version 2 for free. You just have to pay the return shipping, and they'll mail you off a replacement of the version 2 Switch with the improved battery. Anyway, that is all that came out this week, and throwing it back to you guys.
And thanks, Future Kickler. Let's move into some of the games that we've played between last episode and this one. Archer, is there anything you've been dabbling in or anything like that?
More of the same games. Rainbow, For Honor, and that AAA game. It's called Torque Drift, a really fun drifting game on your phone. You're all sponsored by Formula Drift and all that. It's pretty cool. They have all the Pro 2 cars and stuff in it.
That's cool. And you've got a video that you want to post about Rainbow Six, right?
Yep.
Yeah, so look out for that. We started a YouTube channel. It's Gameaholicspodcast, and I think if we can arrange it, that's going to be the first video that we put up on that. So that'll be kind of cool. Anything else that you've been playing or want to talk about?
Well, that is it for me.
All right, for me, I have been playing Outer Wilds. Are you familiar with this?
Sounds familiar, but you have to refresh.
Outer Wilds is a indie developed game that came out just a little while ago. It's kind of cool. It's a first-person exploration space travel game.
Okay.
So you're an alien on this planet, and the gimmick of the game is it's a roguelike game, meaning every time you die, you start over from the very beginning. So you play and you'll die, or eventually the sun blows up and it just starts you back over, and you're trying to just kind of explore, and you kind of fill in the gaps to the story as you go. And there's no combat or anything, so it's not like anything like that, but you can fly your spaceship around this little solar system with a few planets, and you're trying to track down some other members that have traveled. And what's cool is when you die, you don't necessarily gain upgrades, but you're gaining your own personal knowledge of what's going on, and everything's the exact same. But you do get to keep like the launch codes to the ship, so you don't have to go back through and try and find the guy that gives you the launch codes and everything like that.
When you die, does all your progress get lost?
Yeah, so you're starting over as if you just started, except for like the launch codes you get to keep and everything, and you're just gaining your own knowledge. So if I went and traveled to this one planet, now that I personally have learned everything that's on that planet, my character does not have to go back there to progress the story.
Okay.
So it's interesting. I'm not very far into it, but it'll be cool to see where it goes from there. A lot of people are calling it their Game of the Year contender for right now. So it's supposed to be really good. It looks good. The controls are really good. It's on Game Pass, so I got it for free. It's really nice. I like it.
Already teasing for Game of the Year or something that's not an intense battle game. That's cool.
Yeah. Anyway, moving on into this week's topic, we are going to look at the games that have come out so far in 2019, kind of talk about what we think are our personal contenders for Game of the Year, and then we're going to take a look ahead and see the games that are coming out later this year and some games that don't necessarily have a release date quite yet. Let's start with January. One of the first games to come out this year was New Super Mario Bros. U Deluxe on the Nintendo Switch. This was basically just a port of the Super Mario game on the Wii U. So they just ported it over.
Yeah, so it was already released.
Yeah, they combined Super Mario Bros. U with Super Luigi Bros. U.
And it's a new story for Luigi.
Yeah, it's the same game except kind of amplified. Mm-hmm. Like you have less lives, or the time is a lot faster and everything. And me and Aubrey played through the whole game and got all the stars and everything, and it's been fun. Those games are always fun co-op. Next game to come out was Mario and Luigi's Bowser's Inside Story plus Bowser Jr.'s Journey on the 3DS. This was basically, it's one of the last games of the 3DS.
I was going to say, I didn't think they still make games for it.
Not very many. They put out that one and maybe one or two others, and I think it's going to be dying here soon.
I haven't seen one of those forever.
I used to own one, but I sold it a few years ago to buy a Switch, actually.
There you go.
Next was Ace Combat 7, Skies Unknown. Really cool jet fighter game.
Yeah, I like the graphics. That looked really, really good.
Yeah, those looked way awesome. Travis Strikes Again, No More Heroes for the Switch, kind of just a hack and slash game. Slay the Spire was a cool card turn-based combat game. So you get cards to be able to fight the enemies. So every turn you have to play a card. It was kind of interesting.
And you get to fight the fight.
Yeah.
That's pretty cool. I like that.
Life is Strange 2, Episode 2, one of those story-driven choose-your-own-adventure games. Kind of that big thing since Telltale shut down.
I'm not a big fan of those games.
Neither am I, but some of them are pretty good. I've played a few of them. The Resident Evil 2 remake came out as well, which those graphics are phenomenal. And the last game to come out in January was Kingdom Hearts 3, kind of concluding that 20-year span of games.
Do you know how much they charged for Resident Evil 2?
60.
Is it 60?
Well, it's a full remake. It is. So the original Resident Evil 2 was a fixed camera perspective, so you walk into a room and the camera stays put and your character moves around. In this one, it's a full third person over the shoulder. The graphics are amazing in this, and it's kind of a reimagining of that particular one. So it is definitely well worth the $60. Definitely.
I like Resident Evil.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Moving on into February, you want to take a turn and read this list?
Yeah. Let's see. We got Warbro, PlayStation 4, Xbox. Switch, basically on all console.
Yeah, that one was a cool turn-based strategy game as well.
Okay. Apex Legends, adding a solo.
This week. I think the day that this episode comes out is the first day that that solo mode is available.
Their new character, the Russian chick, she's not very good. You have to be super close combat and inside to make her effective. And that's really not what that game is about. Angry Birds VR. Never played Angry Birds in a VR. That'd be cool.
I really want to track down a headset and try that game out.
So is it just a VR on the phone?
No, it's on the Oculus Rift and the HTC Vive.
Let's see. Tetris 99.
Battle Royale for Tetris. Have you played that one at all?
I have not. That sounds awesome.
It's interesting. We'll have to boot it up and play it. It's a free game on the Switch.
Tetris until you die, basically.
Yeah, so it's a free game on the Switch as long as you own the Switch Online service.
Okay.
You versus 99 other Tetris players, and every time you get a Tetris, you send, they call it garbage, but it's just blank lines over to somebody else. And so they'll stack you up to try and defeat you, basically. It's pretty intense.
That's cool. See, Crackdown 3. I don't think I've ever played Crackdown.
Those were kind of cool because they were really over-the-top, destructible environments and stuff. This game has been, rumored to be coming out forever, and it kind of got in development hell. So I think they just kind of really tried to push it out because it really wasn't that great of a game.
Far Cry New Dawn, the Far Cry game. Be good, probably.
That's the one that takes place after the end of number 5, after
the nuke.
Yep, after the nuke.
Metro Exodus. I want to recommend that game.
Nope.
Game's garbage.
Definitely not in the Game of the Year contender.
Worst Game of the Year contender for sure.
I don't know. This next game, dude.
Anthem. I've never played Anthem. I think it's free though, isn't it?
It's not free. I think you can find it for about $5 or $10 in store, brand new. That game just did not have a good release, has not been kept up well, and just it's had a lot of problems.
Trials Rising. Is that one of those trial like motocross games? I love those games. I'll probably buy that. Ape Out.
Cool indie game on the Switch. You play as a gorilla from the top-down view, breaking out of a research lab, and you basically have to punch your way through and kill guys and everything. Kind of cool.
Dead or Alive 6. I haven't played Dead or Alive.
It's been a while since I've played one of those, but yeah.
Devil May Cry.
5th game in the series.
It's a lot of games.
And people are saying this one is pretty good, just a normal kind of beat 'em up game. And I believe this next game, Kirby's Epic Yarn, was the last game released for the 3DS. There may be one more, but we'll see. Baba Is You came out on the Switch, PC, and Mac. This is a really cool puzzle game where you change the rules of the game by pushing words around. So it's like Baba is you, wall is death. But if you can push it around, so Baba is death, or Baba is rock, or Baba is wall, or something. It's really cool, and it really messes with your brain.
Division 2, probably another Game of the Year contender, I'm guessing.
Yeah, that game looks really cool, and it's one of the first games to be coming out for Google Stadia. So that'll be interesting to see how an online game like that will.
I'm so excited for all the streaming services coming up.
I am too. I've got some pretty good internet here, so as long as it's not Sunday morning, because that's when the Wi-Fi goes down. But other than that, yeah, I'm excited to give that a shot.
With Walking Dead, the final season. Oh, I skipped over Elder Scrolls. That's a big one.
The Elder Scrolls Blades. It was that iOS game or phone game that came out. It's kind of cool. I've been kind of dabbling in that a little bit. We also skipped over Sekiro: Shadows Die Twice. That's a id Software game. They make Dark Souls.
Oh, I like Dark Souls.
So it's like one of those super hard, over-the-top games. Kind of cool. The drama behind The Walking Dead is Telltale shut down, and so this is somebody else picking up the development of the game and everything, just kind of wrapping up that story. I personally didn't get this one because I didn't know where the money was going. I wanted it. Telltale shut down and didn't pay their employees, so I didn't want this to be going to anybody unless it was going to the employees. So I didn't personally get that one.
That's so. This is story-based Walking Dead.
Yeah.
I heard that. What's the developer that makes Borderlands?
2K.
I heard they were making a Walking Dead game.
Gearbox.
We had to overkill me. The developers of Borderlands are supposed to be making a Walking Dead game that's first person.
That'd be cool.
And yeah, I'm excited for that. Yoshi's Crafted World Switch game. It's gonna be like a Yoshi Island thing.
Yeah. Yoshi's kind of taken this turn where the art style is very crafted. So like the last one was Yoshi's yarn, and so all the Yoshis are made out of yarn. In this one, this is Crafted World, so everything's made out of crafts. So like everything's like milk bottles and cardboard boxes and stuff like that. It's kind of cool. It's got a cool art style. It's a really, really easy game. It's definitely made for kids, but like the art aesthetic's really, really cool.
New VR kit for the Nintendo.
The cardboard one, kind of cool. And supposedly the games are really cool. And in this one, you actually get to make and design your own games.
That's cool.
So you can design them in a 3D world with that VR in mind.
Awesome. Katana Zero, April 18th.
A lot of these indie games coming out on the Switch, and a lot of them have been so good.
Really?
Yeah.
That's good. I haven't played a lot of the Switch.
We need to get you one.
Yeah.
Mortal Kombat 11 came out on all platforms and looks like it will be coming out for Google Stadia as well.
Played that the other day.
Really? How's that?
I mean, it's Mortal Kombat. I don't like Mortal Kombat very much. I got my cheeks clapped.
Definitely looks really good though.
Yeah, the graphics are awesome. A lot of throwable stuff in the maps, more than they usually do.
The next game, are you familiar with SteamWorld at all? Those games?
No,
So the developers behind the SteamWorld universe, they pretty much change genres with every game. So it's kind of cool. This one's another one of those card-based strategy games.
Okay.
But it's really cool just to see them switch up their style so much. It's kind of the only developer that I know of that does that. They're not just sticking with one thing that they're good at. They're switching it up and experimenting and everything.
Days Gone. A lot of hype. Oh, and Box Boy plus Box Girl.
Yeah, don't really need to cover anything else in that one.
Yeah, Days Gone. A lot of hype for that one coming out. And I don't think it did very well.
No, people were kind of saying it was just a AAA video game. Like, that's really all it was. It was just, it looked good and it played good, but it didn't really improve on anything.
It wasn't like when the new Red Dead came out. That whole month after, there was a bunch of videos of it on the internet and social media. There was like every other video was about it, but I haven't seen one thing about that one. Yeah, so.
Moving on into May now. Life is Strange 2 Episode 3 came out. Rage 2, developed by published by Bethesda. It's kind of like Doom with over-the-top gunplay. Well, I'd maybe say Doom's a little bit more over-the-top, but this one's just a little different. You've got some powers and stuff.
Another game on Steam.
People have said it's okay. I played a little bit of it, and I kind of agree it's okay. Nothing groundbreaking, but it's not terrible. There is a Castlevania Anniversary Collection. It's got like 6 games in it on PlayStation, Xbox, Switch, and PC. Castlevania games are always good, and this is just kind of bringing back the classics. Team Sonic Racing and Void Bastards. Void Bastards was really cool.
Yeah, I was about to ask you about that. What is that?
It's a roguelike game, so every time you die, you start completely over. Except in this one, you get to keep the upgrades that you have, and you play as a prisoner that to keep their prisoners, to keep the space for their prisoners, they dehydrate them and keep them in like little bags. And so every time you die, you get rehydrated as a new prisoner. So they put the bag in water and everything. It's kind of funny. But each character has different properties. So like one's like a smoker, so he coughs a lot. One of them has ADD, and so his stats will switch all the time. And it's kind of cool like that.
That's cool.
But basically you're just trying to get to the end of the game, and every time you upgrade, you have to worry about your food and your fuel for your ship and everything. It was kind of interesting. I played it for a few hours, and I didn't beat it, but I just couldn't get very far.
That's really cool.
And this is also the month that The Outer Wilds came out, that game that I've been playing.
On PC?
I'm playing it on the Xbox, though.
Oh, it's on Xbox as well?
Yeah. In June, they had that big update elsewhere. I'm a huge Elder Scrolls fan, so I was really excited about this one.
Borderlands 2, another Game of the Year contender. You think?
Depends if we count DLC as Game of the Year.
Right.
But this is that DLC that bridges Borderlands 2 to Borderlands 3 that'll be coming out.
Borderlands 3, Game of the Year discussion, probably.
And
all my buddies are trying to get it.
Yeah, I really liked this game. Cadence of Hyrule, Crypt of the Necrodancer, featuring The Legend of Zelda.
That's the longest title.
That's a long-ass title, but that game is good. It's a rhythm-based game, so you have to move and attack on the beat.
That's cool.
And this one's Zelda-themed, so it's got Link and Zelda, and all the bad guys are from the Zelda universe and everything. It's a really cool game.
That's awesome. Alright. That's where we're at. Bloodstained.
Yeah, Bloodstained Ritual of the Night.
I haven't played Bloodstained.
It's kind of reminiscent of the old Castlevania style games.
Okay.
So it's kind of that. it's a 2D, 3D looking game. So it's on a 2D plane, but the characters and stuff are 3D. It looks really good and everything, and it's getting some good reviews except for the Switch version. They say that the Switch version runs pretty bad.
I noticed that we have like the Crash Bandicoot for the Switch.
Mm-hmm.
It's a lot harder to time your jumps in that game than it was in the old school ones.
Speaking of that, they have the Crash Team Racing Nitro Fueled came out June 21st. And on that same day, Harry Potter Wizards Unite.
I have it downloaded.
Yeah, you've played a little bit of it.
Yeah, or just as much as you played.
Mm-hmm. It's kind of hard to play that when we're both addicted to Pokemon Go, so it's like you got to pick one or the other when we go out.
Pokemon Go definitely wins every time.
Every time. And the last game to come out in June, I've been playing a heck of a lot of this game, and that's Super Mario Maker 2 for the Switch.
I have played his level. Can't get it.
I can't beat my own level, but as soon as I beat my level, I will post the code so that you guys can give it a shot.
Final Fantasy. I don't know what number that is.
14. Shadowbringers. Final Fantasy 14 is the MMO for Final Fantasy. So this is just a big update that they put out for this, and it is getting some really good reviews online. I don't own a PlayStation, so I have not played this one.
I have not played it either.
Stranger Things 3, the game, also came out same day that the show came out on Netflix. I have watched the show. I have not played the game yet. It definitely looks interesting.
Looks like you're in a bird's eye view for most of the game.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and it's kind of that pixel art style and looks good. Dr. Mario World for the phone.
That's cool.
It's kind of like Tetris, sort of. A little bit different. But, Nintendo's getting into those mobile games a lot more, so they keep pumping those out. It'll be interesting. Mario Kart's coming out here soon.
For the phone?
Yeah.
Wow. That's dope.
So that'll be really interesting for a game on the phone.
Hopefully make it compatible with the controller.
That'd be kind of cool.
I'd like that.
Dragon Quest Builders 2. The first Dragon Quest Builders was really good. This one's supposedly just an improvement on basically everything. I am really considering picking up a copy of that.
Marvel Ultimate Alliance. I didn't even know they made these games still.
And they made this third one.
Mm-hmm.
First one in like 10 years.
Yeah.
And it's exclusive to the Switch.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
I'm actually even excited about it. I would love to play those again. I remember playing them when I was little.
I've got both of them. Downloaded on my Xbox, I believe. And we can definitely go and get a copy of this one for the Switch and play through it.
Sweet.
Wolfenstein Youngblood also came out. I have been playing through the original Wolfenstein. Well, not the original, but the new one. And the Wolfenstein 2. In preparation to be able to play this here in the next little bit. So I've been just kind of chugging away at that.
Madden 20 coming out?
Already came out.
Oh, yeah. Already
August 2nd.
It's your typical Madden.
Yep.
NFL players were still complaining about their ratings. I mean, if you want to buy... I usually buy Madden every 2 years. So this one I'm skipping until 2021.
Yeah. There's never... I feel like there's not a huge improvement on any of the sports games year after year.
The only thing that Madden did well is they made it to where your ultimate team, which is a game mode in Madden 20, it's an online game mode where you gain like an in-game currency and you can buy cards and play with that team. So you can buy all the legends and you can make a whole team, anybody you want.
Mm-hmm.
But the previous game, they made it super pay to win.
Oh.
And they really fixed it. It's a lot better now.
That's good.
Yeah.
And that brings us to current date. So let's kind of reflect on these last 8 months of games. And is there any games that have kind of stood out to you for Game of the Year contender or anything that you just want to kind of touch a little bit more on?
I'm hoping that Marvel Ultimate Alliance, if it's good, a big game coming out like that that's been gone for 10 years, I think that could possibly make a comeback for best game of the year. Yeah,
it's definitely a good game. I've played a little bit of it. I want to sit down and play through the whole thing, kind of compare it to Marvel Ultimate Alliance 1 and 2, and those X-Men Legends games too, which is very similar, just with the X-Men characters. So I think sitting down and kind of looking at those will be kind of interesting when we get towards the end of the year.
So does Sony have the rights to that? Like they do Spider-Man games and whatnot?
Nope. For some reason, I think it was Team Ninja that made this game. They did not have to worry about copyright as much because they have the X-Men, they have Spider-Man, they have Guardians of the Galaxy, they have the Avengers. So they really did not have to worry about a lot of that.
Did they use the same Spider-Man as they did in the PS4 version of Spider-Man?
I think there's like 2 or 3 different versions of Spider-Man. So yeah. Any others that kind of stand out to you?
We watched that Ace fighter jet game, and the graphics look phenomenal to me. So if they don't get, they'll get an award of some sort for best graphics, maybe.
Yeah, or best flying game or something like that.
There's not a big competition for that, but
I think the only one that's really going to compete, and it's going to be on a completely different front, but just as far as graphics and gameplay, potentially the Microsoft Flight Simulator. Coming out with a new one of those that's really, simulation based, and it's not arcadey combat like this. So it'll be kind of interesting to see.
I mean, last year's winner of graphics of the year was God of War. Looked really good.
Yeah. Anyway, I think Apex Legends has some ground in a Game of Year discussion.
Has a free game ever won?
I don't think so, but it'll kind of depend on how they keep up with it, I think. But, I mean, it feels good, it looks good, and they have been keeping up with it. And I think it's got potential to kind of compete with Fortnite at least. Kind of knocking that out.
Yeah. I would rather play Apex than Fortnite.
I would too. I think they need to keep up with updating a little bit more, though, to do that.
I think they just need to add a couple more game modes because I like the diversity of game modes to play.
So it'll be interesting to see that single player is only going to be limited time. It's only out for a week.
I wouldn't even be mad if they did like a team deathmatch based game modes and stuff like that, like Call of Duty. I think it'd be really fun.
I am waiting for them to bring in a pilot class, so that if they take the Titanfall pilot, basically yank him out, throw him in Apex Legends.
That'd be cool.
I think that would be a cool hero to play as.
Very cool.
Another game that I think is definitely on my list is going to be Ball Is You. I'm going to sit down with you and we're going to play a few levels of that.
That does sound way cool.
It's
super complicated.
Yeah, it's really complicated. I've gotten, maybe halfway through the game and I've just gotten to a level that I cannot beat. I'm almost tempted to look it up just so I can move on, but it's just so different. It's unlike any other puzzle game that I've ever played, so I really, really enjoy that game. It's fun. It's fun kind of as a party game, or like you and somebody else can sit down and one person can control the player, but you both can solve the puzzle.
Yeah, that's how we were doing with Thy Neighbor.
Yeah, so it's pretty cool in that sense.
Monster Hunter, the new DLC. Lots of new armor, lots of new weapons you can go grind out. It's really cool. I've done my fair share of grinding on that, so
I think
something new in there.
Yeah, I think my last contender, as it stands of the year right now, is Cadence of Hyrule: Crypt of the Necro Dancer, featuring The Legend of Zelda. That title. It's just a really cool game. I really like the rhythm based. It's unique. This is kind of opening a new side of Nintendo where they're allowing third-party developers to come in and use their big name characters. So I think it'll be really cool to see where that goes, to see if somebody makes a Mario game or if somebody makes a Star Fox game or something like that. But yeah, I think that's kind of how my Game of the Year list contenders stands as we're moving into the middle of August. So speaking of that, let's move on and take a look ahead at some of the games coming out in the remainder of the year. The first one looks like on August 20th, we're going to be getting a new Yu-Gi-Oh game, Legacy of the Duelist. It's basically just another card-based battler. Life is Strange 2 Episode 4 will be coming out.
You ever played those?
I've played a little bit of Episode 1, as in Life is Strange 1, not Episode 1 of Life is Strange 2. It's good. It's just another one of those choose-your-own-adventure story games. So it's not necessarily my cup of tea, but it's really interesting, and it's really kind of the only big name out there in that genre. So I think it's important to kind of talk about it. Ancestors Humankind Odyssey looks kind of cool. It is...
Is it just on PC?
I think it's just going to come out on PC to start with. You start as a chimp, and basically you're trying to evolve into the humans, basically.
Oh, okay.
Every time you die or every time you advance, your genes change and you get a little bit more advanced.
That's kind of cool.
It's really interesting. I've seen gameplay, and I'm curious to see where it goes. Control. Did you ever play Alan Wake?
I don't think so.
Alan Wake is definitely one of my favorite games of the 360. And this is made by those same people. And they do a lot of really good storytelling and that environmental painting picture and structure and everything. This one you've got some like time control powers, it looks like.
That's cool.
And everything. It's going to be really interesting. I definitely want to pick that one up. Ancestral Chain is coming out at the end of August, and it's really one of the biggest games coming out to Switch, it looks like.
Switch is a big year for Switch.
It is.
So many games
really
coming
is.
out.
Well, with Xbox, the next Xbox and PS5 coming out next year, those games are kind of dying down. So this is the time for the Switch to really...
Do you think they'll do the same thing with the next-gen consoles where they're making both games both? Both consoles?
I think so. I think they'll have a few bridging games. It sounds like Xbox is really going to focus on that. They're coming out with Halo Infinite. That's going to be a day one title for the new Xbox, but they're also making an Xbox One version of it. And they say it's going to be just as good as the new one. And the last game coming out in August is Blair Witch for the Xbox and PC. This game, not a lot of information out there. We saw a little bit of gameplay. If you're familiar with the Blair Witch Trials, it's going to be kind of similar to that. It's going to be a horror game. It should be interesting.
I actually don't. I like horror games. They're pretty fun. Like Outlast was so fun.
I think this will be another one of those games where we can sit down together and one of us play and just kind of get that experience at the same time. That'll be kind of fun. Anyway, take it away for September.
The Monster Hunter World DLC will be coming out. I already talked about that. And another NBA 2K20. I think NBA, the 2Ks there.
They're definitely a lot better than the other ones.
Yeah, they're on the top of the sports games. I think NHL games are fucking awesome. Yeah. They're so fun to play. I don't even know about like hockey. I don't know the rules, but those games are so fun.
Yeah, I completely agree with that. I'd rather play the hockey games than...
I don't know why they're so fun.
I think basketball, those 2K games are pretty fun too. If I had to pick one, that's what it would be.
Here's 5.
Yep, they dropped the Up War for this game. But this is going to be a big game. If you get Game Pass, we'll sit down and play it because it's going to be day one on Game Pass.
Really?
And I think I freaking love Game Pass, dude.
Borderlands 3.
Another Google Stadia game. I believe that'll be just shortly after the game launches. The Stadia will be having the game too.
Sweet.
Damien X Machina, kind of a mech fighting game for the Switch. Played the demo of it. The developers seem really focused on improving what the people that played the demo said. So it'll be really interesting. And then another FIFA game, FIFA 20.
I've never played FIFA.
I can't stand soccer, so not my thing.
I heard FIFA's a really fun one. People kind of like explained it to me like how I did NHL. So it might be good.
Moving on into October, the new Destiny DLC, Destiny 2 Shadowkeep is coming out.
On Stadia too, awesome.
Should be having crossplay, so we should be able to play PlayStation and Xbox, no problem. But I really like the current state of Destiny 2. I dabble in it every once in a while. Definitely not super hardcore, but I also don't have a ton of people that stuck around after the first week, so I don't really have anybody to play with. So, if anybody wants to play Destiny 2, hit me up. My tag is Kickler1896, and we can play some Destiny.
Yep. Let's see, Ghost Recon.
Did you play the last Ghost Recon game?
I didn't play the last one, but I have played previous ones.
This is kind of seems like a continuation of that last one. So the Wildlands.
I want to get it really bad. Wildlands. I think it looks so much fun.
Yeah, it's kind of cool. I got to play a little bit of it with my uncle.
Is it all third person?
It is. And Call of Duty Modern Warfare. I know you're really excited about this, and you've got some information that we'll talk about in a little bit. Let's hurry and wrap up the rest of the list.
I'm not going to go into too much detail. They did announce their score streaks. The new thing that I wanted to point out was not everybody has a mini-map.
Mm-hmm,
a 2-kill streak. Like you have to get 2 kills in a row to get your mini-map, and it only lasts about 40 seconds.
And that'll be really interesting to see how that changes competitive and everything.
I read something. I'll have to refresh. They did announce a battle royale early next year. I don't know how I feel about that.
Well, I kind of predicted that in the last episode, so.
Dark Edition will be coming with a pair of night vision goggles, which I thought was really cool.
Hopefully this is better than the original night vision goggles that came out with it, but still $200 for these.
Yeah. The score streaks are more the same. They brought back the nuke, which I thought was cool. It looked like they'll have a support class for score streaks again, because they did add emergency airdrop, and I believe that was a support class in Modern Warfare 3 for score streaks.
That'll definitely be cool.
And then, they brought back the Juggernaut, so that's cool.
Yeah. The next game, I'm really excited about this one. This is The Outer Worlds. We kind of touched on this last week, but that'll be PlayStation 4, Xbox One, PC, and then eventually on the Switch. But day one, Xbox Game Pass, I will definitely be there. They're doing a
Game Pass, man. You get to play so many games.
Yeah. Well,
I get the PlayStation one, but it's like fucking $20-something a month, almost $30.
Microsoft has 15 game studios. Every game that they release is going to be day one on Game Pass.
I think they have over 700 games on the PlayStation.
Yeah,
that's streaming one.
That's crazy. But I mean, I'm on the $10 a month plan. They have the ultimate for 15.
Yeah.
But the way I look at it is, if I play 2 games a year, that paid for it. Yeah. Anything above and beyond that, it's just free games.
$60 each. So.
Yep. A new Super Monkey Ball Banana Blitz HD. I believe this is just a remake or a reskin of another Super Monkey Ball game. And on Halloween, we have Luigi Mansions 3.
Yeah.
You get to play as Gooigi.
Really?
Kind of sounds gross.
Yeah.
But,
You play with Luigi the Goo, if you know what I mean. I'm excited for that.
Yeah, I think that'll be cool. I think that'll be another kind of sit down and be able to play it without playing it type of game.
Mm-hmm. Just Dance. Y'all are excited for that one.
Okay, I want you to look at the list of consoles it is coming out on. You see anything weird?
Stadia.
Nope. The one
the Wii.
It's coming out on the original Wii, my dude. That is crazy that they are still supporting the Wii.
That is wild.
I think they came out and said Just Dance 2020 is the last game that they'll make for the Wii.
I don't know how. I'm surprised they're even making Just Dance still.
Yeah, I can't either.
I've never bought one of those and never seen anybody buy it. So. Death Stranding.
This is a lot of people's most anticipated game of the year. It's sounding like.
I don't think I've ever played a Death Stranding. Is that the first one?
It's the first one, PlayStation exclusive for now. It may be coming to PC, it looks like. Looks interesting. It's going to be like Metal Gear, I think, where it's going to have those crazy long cutscenes and everything.
I gotta love cutscenes.
But it looks good, and a lot of people are looking forward to it.
Jumanji the game.
Mm-hmm.
That's probably going to be ass.
Most of those movie-based games aren't very good. Next one, my most anticipated game of November, I think, is Pokemon Sword and Pokemon Shield.
Which one are you most excited about?
I'm really leaning towards Pokemon Shield, but I'm going to wait and see what all the version exclusives are before I decide on which one.
Star Wars Jedi Fallen Order.
And I think you're really looking forward to this game.
I actually do. I like Star Wars games. I was disappointed about the Battlefronts. The number 2 because of all the stuff you had to pay for.
I'm excited for, hopefully, fingers crossed, a good single-player Star Wars game.
Yeah, which I think is going to be good.
Honestly, with EA's track record and...
is this one also developed by EA?
Yep. They have all the rights to every Disney game and everything. And I don't really have that much faith in it.
EA Sports. You're not in the game.
And Doom Eternal comes out at the end of November. And you have not played Doom 2016, have you?
Mm-hmm.
I think if you play it for 5 minutes, you'll be really excited for this game.
Oh, yeah.
And then the only game so far announced in December is Life is Strange 2, Episode 5, December 3rd. And right here, I have a list of the games that do not have a confirmed release date. They may be 2019, they may be 2020, so I really quickly want to just bust them out. Battletoads for the Xbox One, Bayonetta 3 for the Switch, Biomutant for PlayStation 4, Xbox One, and PC, Final Fantasy Crystal Chronicles Remastered Edition, Game of Thrones Beyond the Wall for the phone.
What is that supposed to be?
I don't really know, but
I don't know how they make that to a game.
Gears Pop, Gears of War based game with those pop toys, the ones with the really big head and really big eyes.
That's awesome.
If this game comes out this year, it is 100% going to be my game of the year. I guarantee it. Hollow Knight Silk Song, Mario and Sonic at the Olympic Games Tokyo 2020, Marvel's Iron Man VR,
Whoa.
Pokemon Masters for the phone, Untitled Goose Game, Warcraft 3 Reforged, and Yooka-Laylee and the Impossible Lair.
It's a long-ass title, too.
Yeah. So, now that we've finished that list, looking ahead, is there any games that you think will be kind of competing for your Game of the Year?
In the to be announced? Or?
Yeah, in the to be announced.
Okay. The to be announced.
Oh, not necessarily to be announced, just coming out between now and potentially the end of the year.
I think Modern Warfare has a chance.
You think?
I do. If they really do it right, I think they have a big chance. None of the sports games have a chance. Borderlands 3 probably doesn't. I think Gears 5, I think that has a chance too.
Cool. For me, definitely think The Legend of Zelda Link's Awakening. That one comes out on September 20th, so just next month.
I don't know why. I don't ever think of the Switch games as becoming Game of the Year, but they are.
Almost every single game I play right now is on the Switch, almost.
A lot of people have been playing Switch.
Yeah. That one has potential for me. Pokemon has potential. The Outer Worlds has potential. And if I end up picking it up, Doom Eternal, I think will have potential to be Game of the Year, definitely.
On the to be announced Pokemon Masters, is it going to pair up with your Pokemon Go at all?
I don't think it's going to pair up with Pokemon Go. The premise of it is instead of catching Pokemon, you're catching trainers, and the trainers have like a specific Pokemon that they battle with, and then it's a 3-on-3 Pokemon battle basically.
Huh.
Looks kind of interesting. I guess we'll kind of wait and see. I think Biomutant looks kind of cool. You start, the way I understand it is you play as an animal that's kind of developed into kind of intelligent, basically, and you get to change your DNA as you progress through the game. Looks really interesting. Not a lot of information is out there. I've seen some gameplay though.
It's cool.
We'll have to sit down and watch it. And like I said, Hollow Knight Silk Song, if that comes out, game of the year, 100%. No contest.
Just sending it.
Yep.
Yeah. Cool.
Anything else you want to point out for the games of 2019?
I don't think so. I'm excited for Call of Duty, man. I just want it to be back to its glory.
Yeah.
We'll see though. We'll do a review episode when it comes out.
Yeah, we'll definitely do a deep dive in a few of these games. Obviously, this is not a complete 100% every single game that has come out in 2019. This is just a good compiling of what I and Archer feel as some of the most important. If there are any that you did not hear us talk about and want to let us know anything about them, feel free to email us. Our email is gameaholicspodcast@gmail.com.
And if you want us to review any game of your choice, send us an email. We'll either do a full episode if it's good enough, or
talk about it. It'll definitely be a segment on the show, yeah. Don't forget to like, rate, share, and review the podcast. Give us a review so that we can help get this show in the ears of as many people as possible. Feel free to follow us on social media. We have an Instagram, Gameaholics Podcast. We have a Twitter, GameAholicspod1. We kind of talked about last episode. Twitter's dumb, but whatever. And like I mentioned before, we have a YouTube channel, Gameaholics Podcast on YouTube, where we're going to start putting some content. I think our gaming videos are going to be kind of split between Instagram and YouTube if we can get this going.
Yep.
And anyway, any closing remarks?
You guys have a fantastic week.
Yeah, keep gaming, and we'll see you next week. Peace.